So now you're going to see inheritance like this used in a number of different ways as we go through these examples, and especially as you start to dive more into object-oriented programming. As you start working with Drupal 8, you'll begin to notice that a lot of the classes that you end up creating inherit from other classes. And in fact, those classes that you inherit from also often inherit from another class that lead up to the point of you creating a class. Now that can get tricky after a while because it starts to feel like you can't see everything all in one place. But the principle behind inheritance is solid. If you have several things that share some of the same properties as one another or the same methods, then you want to define those behaviors that they have in common in one place. It's part of that do not repeat yourself rule. As you start to figure out what those things are, you start to realize how things are actually structured in the code that you're creating. And you might be surprised after a while at the kind of abstractions that you create. For example, here we've created a printed page based off of page. And maybe we create other types of pages too, like a mobile page or a full screen page. But page itself is really just one kind of output. We can output other things to other types of devices that include things like JSON or XML or images. And so this page itself may end up inheriting from some other type of class that's more abstract, that is a category that pages, images, and JSON all belong to. Now you'll just naturally discover this as you start to develop your own applications where these abstractions exist. But it is kind of tricky stepping into somebody else's world where they've already made all of those abstractions, which is why when working with Drupal 8, it's tricky. Drupal 8 has a whole set of abstractions, and Symfony, which several Drupal 8 components are built off of, has its own set of abstractions. The one thing I can say to assure you is that the abstractions that exist in Drupal and in Symfony, they have a history, and there's some good rationale behind those. It may seem awkward or unnecessarily hierarchical at first, but as you start to work with it, you'll begin to understand why those abstractions exist.